Let's talk about start buttons. I love using start buttons for behaviors where the horse might be fearful or worried about what comes next. And that's really the big ticket here. The big part of it is it's the thing that comes next that we're trying to let the horse understand and know about and give them information that it's coming, and then let them choose whether or not they're ready for that thing to happen. Okay, so we're gonna get this down. He's got the initial part of the behavior down. So it doesn't mean anything yet other than we're touching it and he gets reinforced for it. If you have a horse that's scared of this blanket, maybe it's just looking at it at first and then we work up to being able to touch it. You just start where the horse is comfortable and work up from there. Or you use a different start button. But I would say for something like this with the blanket, I don't want to put it on the horse if they won't even touch it. Okay, so we've got our first part. This is the start button. I'm creating the start button right now. I'm creating the behavior that is going to be his indicator that he's ready. Okay, so now we've got quite clean. I mean, it's low latency, high fluency. He knows what to do. He knows when to do it. There's no delay. So we're going to move on from there. So now it's, okay, you touched it. Great. I'm going to move it slightly. Click. Okay, touched it. Whoop, sorry, my brain's not working here. So he touched it, touch, move slightly, click. Touched it, move slightly, click. Touched it, move slightly, click. Again, I'm just holding it out here. I'm not making him touch it. Good boy. Good boy. Good. So that time there was a little bit of a delay in touching the blanket. So I'm going to take that as information that, or like he moved away, right? So that's that indicator that maybe the last step I did was a little bit too much. So it was a little bit too far. Maybe it stayed on him too long, or I stretched it out too fast. That's again where the value of that start button comes from. Good boy. Okay, so that was not the loop I wanted to see. I'm gonna start over because he kind of touched it, but he was kind of like pushing into it, and then he also kind of walked off as I was putting the blanket on. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to try and clean up this loop. I'm going to try and clean up what we're doing and get it more in a consistent pattern, because that's where we need to be. We need to be in really fluid, really consistent patterns. And we may have to end it here because good boy. I have found, especially with these types of behaviors, with start buttons, it takes a lot of brain power. We're working with a lot of fear. And so it's really important to keep these sessions super short. I've been doing them at max like 5 minutes. Good boy. It's upside down, but it'll work. Good. So at what point do I then phase to, because the blanket eventually needs to stay on, right? So good boy. So then probably about here, I would start feeding and just get down here and be like, look how awesome this blanket is. Lots of food, yummers. Great job, buddy. Okay. Good boy. And that's the end of that loop. Okay, so I kind of took an opportunity while it was on to be like, yes, great, this is awesome. Look how positive this is. It's a beautiful thing to have on. You get lots of food while it's on, but then the loop ended with that click and feeding him after the click. So I'm going to do one more time. See how he feels about that last rep that we did. A little bit of, a delay. Whoop, it's okay. So that time, a little bit worried. Good boy. So I don't know if you could tell in the camera very well, but he was kind of leaning away from me a little bit. So I just decided to click a little bit sooner. Good boy. Good. And it's okay to go backwards and forwards. So let's say the last rep you went pretty far forwards, take it easier on the next couple steps. Make it fun and easy again. Make sure you're also breathing and keeping relaxed with your horse. If you're tense and like, oh my gosh, is he gonna spook? Guess what? He will spook. Good boy. Okay, lots of conditioning, lots of positiveness. I'm gonna pull the neck part back because that seems to worry him the most. Okay, and I'm actually gonna end here with him. He did great. Good. Okay, so I present the fly mask, her head's away from it. She brings it towards it, so that's her start button. And then I'm adding the approximation of being able to slide the fly mask up onto her face. So it's away from her, she turns her head towards it, I'm moving the fly mask up her head. And initially it was just, I'd present it, she'd move her head towards it, and then I wouldn't move the fly mask at all. I would just let her choose how far. But just like with the blanket, we had to progress from there, from just touching it to, okay, so she brought her head towards it. That was her start button. And then I'm building that criteria slowly of, okay, so now you've given me your start button of touching it. Can I start to raise the fly mask up over your head? Okay, try one more time. See, this is what tells me that she's okay with how far we went last time, is that she was so quick to put her head right back into that fly mask and be like, yep, I'm good. And that's that. Good job.